Good evening, good afternoon, Teacher Tech. How are you, Alice?
I am great. You are like the master at StreamYard. Like I can't even manage to put makeup on this morning, and you are got all kinds of fancy countdowns and stuff. You're so cool.
Well, actually, just to be transparent, that countdown just comes like with the package. I am after we do a few of these, I'm going to make like a whole introduction. You know, like how you see on TV shows. I'm going to make one of those a trailer. Yes, to be a countdown. So, everybody who's joining in, my name is Mel, and of course, you know the incredible Alice Keeler. She's on this side. This is. And we are coming in live tonight. We've got some great things to talk about, but please comment and let us know what's on your mind, what's up, and how you're doing. So, Alice, you are actually teaching face-to-face right now. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going great. I had a lot of really good student engagement this week. I created an assignment. I'm always trying to think, how can I give choice? And I would rather have students do something rather than nothing. And I know a lot of students have low self-efficacy, and if they don't feel confident, they'll do nothing. So I made I think I had 5 choices on my activity. And one of them was just, hey, just make a poster. Get started, do something that can give feedback. I could see you working, and I had every student doing something. So it was like, yeah, great day.
That's cool. And that's in your math class.
That is in my math class. I'm teaching high school geometry.
So cool. I know. And I feel like, I'm, for those of you who don't know me, and why would you, who am I? So I am homeschooling my kids this year, again, for the 2nd year in a row. And I feel like I'm giving my kids a lot of choice, but they hate my choices.
Yeah, I'll admit they don't always like my choices either.
We just had an argument before I came down here because I'm in Alaska, so we're 3 hours behind Central Time. So our day is still going really strong. I still have a ton of things to do when we leave. Ooh, we've got people coming in. Oh my goodness. Good day. Marcia says, I love the countdown. Oh, love the bangs. Thank you, Marcia.
They do look good.
Very cool. Alice just came up on a notification, my first live session. Peter, so glad for you to join us. All right. And most of my teachers used choice boards this week.
Yeah, I do. I try to on every assignment, even if it's not a good choice, some choice. I try to. That doesn't mean I'm successful all the time, but I try to.
I like that. Even if you're not, Alice, I look up to you so much, and you've got it going on. And if you're not successful all the time, that makes me feel better because I'm hardly ever successful.
There's been a hot mess in lots of ways. Like things I know better. I'm teaching geometry for the first time. And so I'm determined that I should not teach math the way that I was taught. I mean, so much research has come out since I was a 10th grader taking geometry. And of course, Desmos didn't exist. GeoGebra didn't exist. And then I'm trying to teach with Minecraft. So I'm like, I just feel like it's such a huge learning curve to learn all of these things and to try and keep up on grading. And I didn't. And I know the importance of fast feedback. And I'm paying the price for it right now.
Right. You and 10 million other people, right? Hey, Laura and Priscilla. Laura says, Alice, you came to my building 2 years ago. Cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, well, you were talking about any year.
I know. I love everybody chiming in. Thank you so much for your comments. Please keep them coming. It might take us off guard for a little bit, but that's okay because you're the reason that we're doing this, and it's so cool. You were talking about being a hot mess, and I noticed something hot. You know, it's not a mess, but it's super hot and it's a fresh creation. Tell us about something that just like if you're tuning in, you're just about to see something that hardly anybody else has seen. Tell us about it, Alice.
All right. So I actually get up at 3 a.m. every day to work with Kim Mattina. We are trying to finish this Google Jamboard book. And I will tell you, our driving thing on the book is every single day is like, well, why would you do that in Jamboard? Like, how do we really innovate and teach differently? So one of the things that we were debating this morning is, would you use badges in a jam? Like, what's the advantage to that? So after we got off the call, I thought, I have something that I could make for this. And I spent a chunk of my morning coding. So if you want to share my screen.
I sure do.
What I made is it's alicekeeler.com/badge grid. I'm pretty sure that's true. Let's try this. alicekeeler.com/badge grid.
That's hard to say a few times. Badge grid,
Is.
badge grid,
My biggest
badge
problem
grid.
is I have to remember what I like. I have so many things I've coded and created, and then make a short URL for them. I'm like, what did I name it? So in this case, it is badge grid. And just so you know, if you put this into Facebook, like you put alexketo.com/any of my stuff, the links don't work. Facebook like messes with the short links, so you have to like type it in yourself. The alexketo.com/badge grid. And so when you make a copy, what's going to come up is you'll see I have a menu here that says make badges, or you can go to the add-ons menu and it says make badges there, and you will get a warning that it's not authorized by Google. That's right, because I coded it this morning. I probably will never submit it to them, but I just don't. So anyway, when you click make badge grid, it makes a Google Slides. You see just added a 7th one on here. I'm just going to do it again, make a badge grid. And like, why do you want 24 circles? And you see it randomizes the color, which I just think is fun. So you get a different one each time. It's because it really just sets me up for having badges. You see that has the nice thicker border and the colors, and I can add some clip art on there. So I'm going to search the web, add some books into my, come here. Here it
So
is.
right now you're just making a badge.
I'm just making a badge, and like it's kind of fun, you know. It's just like deciding what are the 24 accomplishments. Now, there's 3 reasons to give a badge. Would be to signify that they've learned something, right? That they've passed all of their math thingies, or something fun. That they used a lot of glitter. Like you want to mix it up. You don't want to just all be. You passed your benchmark test and you turned in your
Right,
home.
right. I love that. All your math things
in there, and then you add ones for challenges, like things that they don't have to do, but wouldn't it be awesome if someone did? So those are the 3 reasons that I make badges. I'm going to take this little rocket person. So I like to put my Bitmoji on like everything.
I know. Did you notice how I put the Bitmoji on our background?
I did. I am like obsessed with Friendmoji.
You've gotten me into it.
Obsessed. Like I try and
I like that rocket one.
And they don't have it, and I like harass them. I'm like, we need to Friendmoji together.
It's true. It's me. That's the only reason I have a Bitmoji app on my phone now. But I like it. It's all right. I just feel like it doesn't look like me like it looks like you. Like your Bitmoji looks more like you. I just, it's whatever.
You're hilarious. I'm going to put some flowers on here just to.
So high schoolers like badges too?
Well, it's a visual recognition, right? It's goal setting. Like I want to get the whole entire grid. What kinds of things can I do? Some of them are just for fun, so it just encourages them to have fun things. They don't have to do all of them, so they get some choice, some really great things in there. So I create this whole grid, and then I go file, and I download it as a JPEG. And then in a jam in Google Jamboard. Now, if you go to alexketo.com/badge grid, this is actually, you can't tell, but it's 9600 by 5400 pixels, which is a great size for your Jamboard backgrounds because it's super high quality, so it doesn't get all pixelated. So notice when I set the background, it's going to fit real nice. Come on, put it in there.
That's very interesting that you know the dimensions so well.
Well, that's what I'm
I guess
saying.
that's why you are.
Every day to work with Kim, and we make jams all morning long. So I definitely have that.
Just jamming all morning.
Jamming all morning. So you see, I have this grid. It's on a jam. So like, why would I put it on a jam? And the reason is because it has this really cool feature where I can make a rectangle. So I'm going to put a rectangle over the badge, and I want the border edge to be white. And so you see, like, it just disappears. Like it's not even there.
Right.
And so I'm just going to duplicate that with a Control-D action. And by the way, I did make a video of this. I uploaded it to my YouTube video. So if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's alexketo.com/YouTube. If you want to see some directions.
I'll put that in, yeah.
You see they just like disappear. So then all I have to do is I share this with a student and say, okay, here's your badges. And all I have to do is delete the rectangles, the squares, and reveal what they've been able to accomplish. So that's why I did.
Okay, so yeah, Marcia says, how do you give them the badge?
Oh, right. So I give, how do you know that they accomplished it is whatever way that you do that, be it that you, they passed a test or an assessment or something. And so then you would go into their jam and update it, or you have a Google form where they have to submit, whatever system you have for keeping track of that. So this is just the visual part of it. So once you've decided that they get this badge, how do you give them the badge? That's always kind of the challenge, right? Is how do they know they have it, and where do you put them? So this is a suggestion. This was Kim's idea, was to do the badges. And so then I coded up the grid.
It's like freaking magic.
I know, it feels like magic. It's so fun. And the other thing that I did this week, if I can share, is Kim made this mastermind game so you can do logic. And then, you can reorder things in a jam. And I couldn't get the pieces for the game to go on top of the grid. And I'm like, what is going on? I can't order this up. And she's like, well, I drew the lines. She didn't import as a picture. She drew them with the pen. So then I figured out on accident that the pen actually is always on top.
Oh.
On top. So if I just scribble, by the way, use marker because it's thicker, not a lot thicker, but it is thicker. If I just scribble on top, it's always on top, always, always on top.
Huh.
So if I were to go get my Bitmoji, here's my Bitmoji, or make a sticky note or anything, I'll do a sticky note, it'd be faster.
And Priscilla asked the question, she says, does each student have their own Jamboard? That's a good question.
Yeah, in this case, either, it depends on what you want. Do you want the other students to see what the other students are accomplishing? And you can only have 20 frames in a jam. So if you have 20 students, you could do one grid per student, so that you're going in and deleting those. Otherwise, you can just go into a Google Classroom assignment, add the jam, and it makes a copy per student. And then they're all in a single folder, so it makes it pretty easy just to kind of open it up and update it once in a while. So look at this. Look at this sticky note. Notice I made the sticky note after I scribbled, so it should be on top, right? But actually it's behind. So if you just spend enough time scribbling, and you don't want to know how much time you spent scribbling this week, I just scribble until the darn thing disappears, and then I can move it. Look at this. It's just it's pulling stuff, you can hide things. So I'm calling this mystery spot. And I have a video on .com/YouTube. So you can create these mystery spots where you hide stuff behind your scribbles, and then they can pull out the secret word or whatever the game piece or something random that you want to do to bring an element of surprise, because this pen won't move and it's always on top. So I'm yeah, that's cool. So those are my fun finds for the week.
That's really cool. Hot and fresh off the press, y'all. This is it hasn't even been in your newsletter yet. This is today.
I coded it at 4 a.m. today.
Well, that is so cool.
1 a.m., which sometimes you're still awake.
Yeah. I know. I'm but don't talk to me. I'm trying to go to bed already. So.
You haven't got to bed yet, have you?
Yeah, exactly. I want to take a little break. Keep your questions coming. We're going to be on for a few more minutes. I want to give some shout outs to the community. Alice, you give some shout outs too. But I want to just say, Mark Lowndy, I hope you're watching. Every time I go in to check, and I am one of the admins in the Alice Keeler Facebook community, or Teacher Tech. And Mark Lowndy is always answering everybody's questions. I mean, if there's one person that's going to be on it, yeah, he's a great resource. He shares a lot of great things. He knows all the rules, he knows all the laws, and he's just an amazing person. So we want to give a shout out to Mark. I'm so glad you're part of our community. Yes. And also Bridget Duncan. She's an amazing educator, and her creations, she's always sharing them for free. She also blogs for Alice sometimes, so she's an amazing community member also. And I just want to give those shout outs.
Add to the book. She's very generous.
Very generous, always sharing. So thank you to both of you and everybody who is a part of our community. I've seen some people sharing lately too, just some of their thoughts that are coming, and they're just doing it in a way that is very, it resonates with everybody. And I love that. I think that's what community is about. It's about learning new things together, but also discussing the reality and the social emotional impact that everything is having on us. Oh my gosh, which another resource Alexis Terry shared last week that was amazing. And I made it as an announcement. It's just a way to help all of your students digest current events in a way that's not going to get you fired, but also it's not going to, it's going to make your students feel like you're tuning into what they need. It's great for everybody. It was a wonderful resource. So thank you, Alexis. Also,
they did it with their students, and it was a big success. So that's
really cool. And you could do this like, I mean, you don't have to wait for, stuff to hit the fan. Stuff to hit the fan. Notice how I was watching my tongue right there, which I don't normally do. So, but yes. And so I noticed in the newsletter, is there anything that there were so many great things in the newsletter. Is there anything that you want to specifically highlight this week that you sent out, or how can people join the newsletter?
Yeah, if you go to alicekeeler.com/newsletter, so I'll put that in the chat, alicekeeler.com/newsletter.
I could just put it on the thing. It's okay.
Okay. I think that sends it out to some places. I'm not sure. So
you already did it. You're so fast. I'm so used to doing that. You just do it so fast.
I put out a newsletter every Tuesday, and once in a while it goes out on Wednesday if I didn't get to it.
I get it on Thursdays.
Because you didn't open it on Tuesday. So I set it so
no, it doesn't hit my inbox. Like I literally had to find it today. It came into today. I don't know why.
True. You remember when it was a few weeks ago, Google had like a whole outage.
Mm-hmm.
Email was out and everything. And so my newsletter provider says that there was, not getting fired, it's always a plus. My newsletter provider, they put up a little note that actually is messed with it because it has a lot of bounce rates. And then, I don't know, they're trying to clean up the whole mess from weeks ago with Google. So I think there's just some delays in the newsletters going out for now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay as long as we get it. I noticed that you had a class. You put a class for Ken Shelton is offering for free. That was in the newsletter. That was for this week, right?
No, that was a month ago. But that is when the outage went out, and so so it probably 80% of the people didn't get the newsletter. So a few of them got it, and then because of the outage, it was getting so much bounces, it stopped sending. So when they said that they'd fixed it, then I resent the same one out again.
Well, I hope it looked like a really good class.
Ken is so awesome. If whatever Ken Shelton's got for you to participate in, I highly encourage you checking that out. And so I know he's got some Techwitty class that you can take from Microsoft, and I would highly encourage everyone to participate in that.
I've got to see Ken a few times speak, and I love it. He's a great person anyway, but just everything that he says is legit and right on. So definitely. And I love that you shared that in the newsletter. And I hope that more people will join the newsletter. So if you couldn't tell, I'm a super beginner. Some things that Alice says is like another language to me. And I appreciate your patience with me because I'm always like, I don't know what that means. And so don't feel alone, y'all. I'm with you. But, and in our community, there's people from from the advanced to beginning, it's okay, everybody. We all fit. But if you want to stay on top of everything, definitely join alicekeeler.com/newsletter. It is a great resource to have, and it's free. So definitely join that. And a couple more things I wanted to, we have some. Oh, hey, Sally, how are you doing? And somebody asked a question earlier, and it was about your math class. And I want to go back up to that because it was a good question. Oh, here it is. Laura asked, do you find teaching math virtually is harder than other subjects virtually? Ooh, that's a good question.
No. Everyone knows that I fangirl Jo Boaler, and never read her book, Mathematical Mindsets. It's not a book about math. It's a book about teaching, and I really think it's life-changing. And one of the things that she says in the book is math is not harder than other subjects. Now, we may teach it like it's harder, but actually there's more critical thinking oftentimes in writing an essay than in just following math algorithms. So I think the key is it's not just so much that it's harder to teach it virtually, it's that in 2021, virtually or face-to-face, we need to teach it differently. And that's what's hard. Is how do I teach it differently than when I went to school? So I had a conversation with a parent this last week, and he starts off, he's like, when I was in school, we did a lot of geometry proofs. It's like,
yes,
you know what? You really should be complaining if I was teaching it like you went to school. If I'm using 40-year-old curriculum, there's a bigger problem. They're probably not that old. But
that's what we were doing too. And it's been, 20 years for me to be out of school.
So this is my challenge, is not the virtually part. It's that I want to have an engage, explore, explain, extend, and evaluate. This is really a new idea that was developed for NGSS and math and really for everyone. And using the mathematical principles. It's tough because my textbook doesn't provide that. In fact, I was ranting on Facebook earlier about this really terrible textbook that I have, and the engage questions are not engaging. It says engage, and it says, what are ways that you could put a quadrilateral in a circle?
Like, why?
That is not an essential or driving question. Like, what? And then it said a real life example, and the real
I
life
saw that
example
one.
was a round skating rink. Now, I grew up in Alaska. You live where I used to live. Melody, have you ever seen a round skating rink?
No, it's rectangle, but inside of it, there's that oval drawn. Yes.
An oval, but so
You're
not
right.
a circle, and that would be the key. So what I'm teaching this week is that we're inscribing or putting a rectangle or quadrilateral, four-sided figure inside of a circle where the corners touch the circle. Okay, now there are some applications of it. Ice skating is not one of them, just so we're clear. So it says in the problem that the girl is able to, she doesn't know how to stop on her skates and just to crash into the wall. So if she crashes into the wall at this angle, and I'm like, who brings a protractor with them to the skating rink?
That's so funny.
Teaching math hard is that I have to come up with real life examples because this expensive textbook apparently is too lazy to come up with anything other than a pseudo example. Shout out to Dennis Sharon. Dennis Sharon has a book on teaching math, and I know the name of it. I'm going to look it up. Teaching math, but using real world examples and really putting meaningful context. I'm going to get
Right. I'll Google it. And that's why more educators and their books are right on than you would get a textbook, because they're being too one-way thinking. I just want to say that whoever, like, I probably still have to crash into the walls to stop. It's true. I mean, I do better on ice skates than I do roller skates.
Okay, screen share me. I found it.
Okay.
So shout out to Dennis. It's DEN, one N, DENIS, double S there, SHEERAN, DennisSharon.com, and his book is Instant Relevance. So it's bringing relevance to teaching. It's not just a math book. In fact, his book is so funny. It's like reading a Dave Barry article. If you remember he's a comedian. He's funny. The book is really funny and it's really great, and I highly recommend it. Like, let's stop using fake context. Math actually is valuable. Just saying.
Right. I love that. And Dennis, I don't know him very well, but I do know he's obsessed with hexagons or some sort.
Oh, with the snowflakes every year.
Yes.
So I took actually the picture that he posted on. So his thing is, snowflakes are hexagons. So woe be to you if you are Oreo or Dunkin' Donuts or any of these places that have some holiday promotions with snowflakes with too many sides or not enough sides. He's going to call you out publicly, just so you know. So,
oh God, like, that's scary. I don't want to be called out by him.
I'm going to be doing this in my hexagons in my geometry class. So I assigned them to find fake hexagons.
That's ridiculous. I love that. Well, that's so cool. So this is Instant Relevance, and you can find it at DennisSharon.com with one N but two S's. That's great for his name. Like, you can't duplicate that. And I guess Marcia's a fan. Hey, Marcia.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Marcia also said that career technical education has been our hardest subject to teach online at the high school. So if you're listening in, tell us what has been hard for you to teach virtually or face-to-face, whatever your role is, and let us know. We'd love to shout you out.
I was talking to, and it's obviously not the teachers. At this particular school, the PE teachers are not allowed to have the kids do any PE. Actually, it has to be all tests and quizzes. And that's the only thing that they can do for assessment or put in the grade book for PE.
Wow.
It's tough. I think for many of us, it's the challenge of this whole situation. And then there's some places, a few places, put some bizarre extra restrictions just to make it extra hard. Like, and you're not allowed to use these resources, and you have to do these things that makes it take twice as long. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and it's great. And there are so many people that were prepared and they're doing great. And then there's others like me who would be floundering. Like, if I were actually teaching virtually right now, I would be floundering. So wherever you are, it's, like, this is the community to be a part of. Like, we're all learning together. It doesn't matter. And I don't want to say, is it Archer? Mr. Archer, is teacher tech time on at the same every week? Yes, we're going to start doing it every week, right?
Okay. That's the plan. And then we are both moms of 5.
Right. We really are. It's crazy how much there's so many similarities between us. So we're going to try to do this at 6:00 p.m. Central Time on Thursdays, and definitely keep the questions coming because we'll talk about what's ever relevant right now. And then we're going to also have our coffee talk on Saturday morning, right? 9 a.m.
I'm in.
Yeah, so 9 a.m., 6 a.m. my time in Alaska. So for all the Alaskans out there, much love to you. We will be doing it super early. But the great thing too about technology is that, if you can't watch us live, you can watch the replay, and hopefully you'll get a lot of information off that too. But we would love for you to join us because you guys are what we're doing this for, and you're amazing. We love you. Moms of 5, hashtag. Is Marcia also a mom of 5? She's got a lot of kids in her life.
Kids. I'm going to count these up because she's got the grandkids too. So I get confused. How many you got?
She's got like a smorgasbord of kids. Central Time. Yes. I was like, Connecticut?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what's the CT? I think we should give the time in Pacific or Eastern.
Okay. So it will be.
Accurate myself. I don't even know.
Right. It'll be 4:00.
Marcia said yes, but that means 5.
Yes, she is a mother of 5.
Oh my
gosh, 5 daughters.
Okay.
I know a mom of 5 sons. That's a lot of. Wow. Bless you, Marcia. Bless you.
I met him with 6 kids, and I'm like, well, you win.
I've checked. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. It's sad and depressing. Okay. So Central Time. So we're going to meet, yes, on Central Time. And it would be 6:00. Oh, I love this. This is real math right here. Let me try to do it because all day long I think about time zones because I'm in Alaska. So I am 4 hours behind East Coast time. So knowing that, so if we're 6:00 Central, then it is 7:00 Eastern and it is 4:00 Pacific. Am I right? 4:00 Pacific? Yes, I'm right.
I'm going to tell you, I really don't do time zones. And I think I sent my friend 20 updates as I tried to move it around on the Google Calendar because I keep my computer in Pacific time and I keep my phone in Central time. But apparently, and it took me at least 5 edits to figure out why it wasn't showing up when I wanted to move it. When I go to edit, it's in Pacific time. So great.
Right. I know. And I love people that are in the Pacific time because you're just 1 hour ahead of me. So it makes my life a little bit easier. But yes, and Jennifer, as a mom of 1, listen, if you have any kids, you know the struggle of the juggle of it all, which reminds me of my friend Erin. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to say? Our time is coming to an end. Is there anything you want to share out? I want to say, make sure to go to Alice's YouTube. She puts out new resources like every 5 minutes. It's crazy. And it's just alicekeeler.com/YouTube. Very easy to get. And I have her alicekeeler.com membership on the bottom. Another great resource to get if you would like. We've got some comments coming in. I love the comments. Oh, yours.
They're my comments. Sorry.
It's okay. You know what? This is so cool going live with you because you know how to navigate all this stuff too. I'm used to doing all the things on the background, but I don't have to do that with you.
Melody, you're like the master of StreamYard. That's for sure.
Well, I tried. Thank you for that. That's so sweet.
You can be the master of StreamYard.
I think Dr. Sarah Thomas called me the queen of stream. I'm going to take that.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Jennifer, thank you. And for everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you have a great one. And Laura, thank you. Yes, it was nice to even talk with you. I like this. I like talking with people, even virtually. Like it just does something for me. I'm like one of those hermit people. Like I put makeup on to go live because this is as much interaction as I'm going to get with anybody.
I've decided no one cares. I think I've worn makeup twice this whole pandemic.
Right. What time is your Saturday coffee time again? It will be
New Jersey.
This is a math question. It will be 10 a.m. for you in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Do you say your name Piers? Am I saying it right? Is it like Piers?
That looks right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Piers, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Definitely correct me. I want to say it right, but I feel like he's going to be a regular, so I need to learn his name. So if it's 9:00 Central Time, 10:00 on the East Coast, and it's all right, Kayla. You can. enjoy the replay. And we're going to we just told Piers that we're going to be on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. And that would be 7 o'clock Pacific. So we'll see you again. Yay, I said it right. It's very important to learn people's names and say it correctly. Yes. Well, thank you all so much for joining in. We hope to see you again Saturday morning. Again, if you just chimed in, you can watch the replay. We are so glad that you are in our community. We appreciate you and all that you do and how you support one another. You're amazing. So kudos to all of you. Alice, I hope you have a great night.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you on Saturday. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.